What if the real reason most people never gain real ability is not a lack of talent, not a lack of effort, but the simple fact that they always have a way out? Here is the rule most people don't want to hear. Ability only appears when there is no retreat, not when the path is clear, not when progress is measurable, not when you feel confident. Ability shows up only when failure is not an option, because there is nothing else left to do. Look at blind musicians, not people who happen to be blind and play music, but musicians whose blindness erased an entire category of shortcuts. Steve Wonder, Ray Charles, blind Willie Johnson. They didn't learn music differently. They had no visual fallback, no sheet music as a crutch, no symbolic layer between sound and body. So sound became space, rhythm became orientation, pitch became physical memory. That's not compensation, that's reorganization. The same pattern appears everywhere ability is real. People who lose their dominant hand and later gain near equal precision with the other one don't do it because they found a better training method. They do it because the system has no alternative. Some people lose both arms and develop hands with their feet, not metaphorically, literally. The moment the retreat disappears, the body stops asking whether and starts asking how. This is the part everyone avoids, because the process of gaining ability is deeply hostile to the human mind. There is no certainty, no clean progression, no confirmation that you are doing it right. Everything feels blurry, half understood, unstable. You don't know if you're improving. You don't know if this effort matters. You don't even know what the ability will look like in the end. So people look for exits. They look for explanations. They look for frameworks. They look for reassurance that they are on the right path. That reassurance is the retreat. So what about people who do have all their senses? What if you are not blind? What if you didn't lose a hand? What if nothing was taken away from you? Then the question becomes much more uncomfortable. Because for able-bodied people, ability doesn't appear by loss, right? It appears by refusal. If you can see and you want real musical ability, you don't stare at sheet music. You don't use your eyes to escape sound. You don't watch where someone else's fingers land on the piano keys or on the fret of a guitar. You close your eyes and you raise your ears, because eyes create distance. Ears create commitment. The moment you stop looking for confirmation and start listening for structure, music stops being information and becomes orientation. The same rule applies to language. Yes, if you are learning a second language, you still need your eyes. You still need your eyes. You need them to watch films and series in the language you are learning. You need them to see scenes, to see faces and expressions, to catch body language, gestures, and what people are doing, not just what they are saying. You catch timing, contextual actions, reactions, spatial relationships, and the tone reinforced by visuals to understand what's happening in the scene. But that's it. Your eyes were not given to you so you could read subtitles in your native language. Subtitles are not help. They are an exit. Native language subtitles in films are the equivalent of sheet music in music, a symbolic layer. Every time you read instead of listen, you are choosing safety over ability. So turn them off. No gradual reduction. No just for difficult parts, no excuses. Subtitles are your retreat. Cut it. The moment the text disappears, your brain panics. Good. That panic is the sound of ability being forced to reorganize. You won't understand everything. You will misunderstand constantly. You will feel stupid. That is not failure. That is the environment ability requires. Some people simply can't understand this. They ask, if you watch a film in a second language without subtitles and you don't understand a single sentence, what exactly are you doing? Why would anyone do that? What's the point? Why put yourself through something so stupid? Well, if that's stupid, then every newborn on this planet has been doing the same stupid thing from the moment they are born. They don't understand a word, not one sentence, no explanations, no translations, no subtitles. Giving subtitles to a newborn would be deeply strange, right? And somehow, by the time they are 1 or 2 years old, they own their native language. So how did they understand it? They didn't. They guessed, and they kept guessing until guessing became knowing. If you insist that watching a film in a second language without subtitles means you understand nothing, then I have to say this. You are not failing to understand the visuals. You are impatient to understand every sentence immediately. That's the real problem. Let me remind you of something simple. When cinema first appeared, it was silent. For more than 30 years, there was an entire silent film era. No dialogue, no subtitles, no spoken language at all. And audiences understood what was happening just by watching, by seeing actions, by reading faces, by following context. So no, this isn't about films being impossible to understand without words. It's about you being spoiled by your native language. You are used to instant clarity, instant confirmation, instant understanding, and that comfort is exactly what keeps ability from forming. Because as long as there is something else to rely on, your system will rely on it. And only when there is nothing left to rely on does ability finally show up. Ability does not grow in clarity. It grows in fog. And maybe that's why, out of so many jazz standards, Misty is the one I love most. Only repeated use, repeated failure, repeated adjustment, slowly compressed chaos into something reliable. And one day, without noticing when it happened, you stop needing instructions. Not because you mastered it, but because there is no longer another way to act. So let me say it cleanly. A backup plan feels safe, but structurally, a backup plan is the enemy of ability. If there is a retreat, your system will take it. If there is none, ability has no choice but to appear.